Hi, we're going to be solving a system of linear equations by substitution. So we have example number one. I'm going to be giving you three examples, but here's the first one. Y equals 2x plus 5. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look for or be on the lookout, I'm going to put these little I's, for x equals something or y equals something. And that is what you're going to be looking for. So if I look at my equations that I have here, I do have y equals something right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to substitute. Remember, substitute is like substituting one thing for another, like a substitute teacher or a sub player for a basketball team or a volleyball team. So you have a sub and it replaces another one. Here, if I read this, just to make sure that you guys know, this says y is 2x plus 5. So y is 2x plus 5. So what I'm going to do is, since I have what y is, I'm going to put that right here in the other equation. This y is 2x plus 5. So when I put it in and substitute it, I'm going to substitute the y, not the minus sign. Anytime I sub, I always put parentheses. So this problem right here, or this part, 2x plus 5, I'm putting in where the y goes. That's called substitution. So now, once I do that, I'm going to distribute. So next we distribute. Okay? And the way we distribute is, this is really, you can't see it, but it's a negative 1 in front of there. Negative 1 times 2x, and then a negative 1 plus times the 5. So 3x, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x, negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. So now I have actually done the substitution. So to solve this, the next step I'm going to do is add like terms. So let's add like terms. Okay? Like terms means it has to be the same letter or the same variable, and they both have x's, so let's put them together. 3 minus 2. Don't forget this minus goes with that. So 3 minus 2 happens to be 1x. So I'm going to finish writing the rest of the equation. 1x, but I typically, or you don't write 1 in front of the x, so I'm just going to rewrite it the way it should have been written. And now I'm going to solve, and the way I do that is I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and then I have x equals 6. So when you're writing the solution for this, remember you have two variables, so you're going to always put your answers in an xy format in parentheses. So we have the x, so this 6 goes right there. But we still need the y. So in order to find the y, look at the original right here. Y is 2x plus 5. Y is 2x plus 5. Since y is 2x plus 5, I'm going to plug in the known value. What does that mean? That means that you're going to plug in or put in what you know. Plug in the known value. So what I do know is that x equals 6, because we figured that out here. X equals 6. So that means this x, I'm going to make it into a 6 because x is 6. So y equals 2 times 6 plus 5. And remember, when you're putting it in, you have to put it in parentheses, so that way you don't make any mistakes. So 6 times 2 is 12 plus 5. So y is 12 plus 5, which is 17. And I will put that right there. And that is your answer. Solution is 6, 17. So here is example number 2. Remember, we're supposed to be looking for something, looking for x equals something or y equals something, and we don't have it. So what we're going to need to do is rearrange one of the equations so that it could be x equals something or y equals something. And here's a hint on how to rearrange. What you're going to do is, if you're going to have x equals something, that means that number that's in front of the x, every term, and here are my terms, every term in that equation will have to be divided by that number. If I choose y equals something, then every term in that equation has to be divided by the number that's in front of the y. So if I look at this 3 here, and I'm going to divide all of these terms by 3. This one here, 7 divided by 3, does not come out to a pretty number. It comes out to a fraction. So I'm not going to choose x equals something. Let's try y equals something, which means I have to divide everything by -7. And again, 3 divided by -7, that's going to give me a fraction which kind of might be messy. So I don't want to choose this equation to rearrange. Let's look at this one. So if I choose x equals something, that means every term needs to be divided by the number that's in front of the x. So if I divide all of these by 3, oh look, that works nicely, that works nicely, that one works nicely. So this is the one I'm going to choose to rearrange. I'm going to rearrange 3x minus 12y equals 6. Now just take a note. It may not always work out pretty like this where there's a number that everything can be divided by, but you definitely want to look at it ahead of time to see if one of them would be easy to rearrange. And because all of these can be divided by 3, that's going to be easy to rearrange. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. But like I said, you don't always have easy, nice choices like that. But since we do, we're going to use it. This is the one we're going to use. So we have chosen x equals something, which means I need to put everything on the other side and have only x on the left side. So this -12y needs to come on the other side. And the way I do that is I change the sign, and that makes that go away. So let's rewrite the equation. 3x equals 6 plus 12y. So I'm getting it close to where that x is by itself. But it's still not by itself. I have to divide everything by 3. So, there we go. Doesn't that look familiar? We're dividing everything by 3. That's what we said at the very beginning, that it has to be divided by the number in front of the variable. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now we have x is 2 plus 4y. So we rearranged this equation here. Now we're going to use the other equation for our substitution. So 3x, I'm going to go ahead and write it down so you can see it. Rewrite our equation, the other one that we didn't use, this one right here. That's the one we're going to write down here. And here is x equals 2 plus 4y. That is going to be our substitution. X is, let's go ahead and write that down. X is 2 plus 4y. So when I rewrite this, and I do this substitute. When I rewrite this and substitute this 2 plus 4y for that x, I'm just going to write the rest of my equation the way I see it. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is distribute. So let's go ahead and distribute. 3 times 2 is 6, and then 3 times 4 is 12, minus 7y equals 12. Make sure that you don't forget your y's. This is 3 times 4, but don't forget the y. So now we're going to add like terms. Add like terms. And when you add like terms, you see if there's several of one particular variable, and we do. We have a 12y here and a -7y here. So let's go ahead and put those together, or add them together. So 12 minus 7 is 5, so that's 5y, and then, so we did that one. Let's go ahead and put the 6 there, the rest of the equation. And now we're going to solve. So let's go ahead and solve. I'll have to subtract 6 from both sides, and I get 5y equals 6. And then I'll divide both sides by 5, and y equals 6 over 5. Unfortunately, 6 over 5 is a fraction, but that's our answer. So we're going to put that in our solution set. Remember, when you're doing a solution with a set of equations, you're going to have to, with two equations, you're going to have to put it in the XY format. So y goes right here. Now we still need to find our x. We don't have it. So what do? Well, remember, we have up here that x is 2 plus 4y. So we can figure it out. X is 2 plus 4y. So x is 2 plus 4 times y. And we did solve our y. We know our y. We're going to put our y right there. 6 over 5. Now remember, 4 is really 4 over 1, and when you're multiplying, you just multiply across. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 5 is 5. So now I have 2 plus 24 over 5. 24 over 5 is really 24 divided by 5, and so when you divide that out, 24 divided by 5 happens to be 4 with a remainder of 4. So you put your remainder up there in the numerator. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. So your answer is 6 4/5. And that is your 6. That is your x, 6 4/5. That's your solution right there.